Hi there, it's Tom and Jerry here. Now you're watching this because you're a business trainer of some kind. You're either working inside a business or you're working externally as a consultant, trainer or coach. And when you're training, you cannot not influence. You're influencing all the time. But to what extent are you in control of the impact you make when you train? That's the nature of what we're going to talk about today, Tom.
Yeah, so this is a 5-minute video that will just give you a few insights into one of the things that we cover in the Financial Times Guide to Business Training.
Yeah, we want to make it very conversational. Please feel free to get back to us with questions or things you don't understand, or if you've got different points of view, we'd be interested in hearing from you. So just by way of introduction, I've been a teacher, salesman and manager, and two key things in relation to what we're talking about here is I was National Training Manager for L'Oreal and Pepsi. Now I've been doing this sort of thing for about 14 years or so, and we basically do 4 things every time. We do group training on all areas of influencing, one-to-one coaching, we do keynote speaking and write business books.
Exactly. And by way of introduction, my name's Tom Bird, and I have a career of 2 halves. First half was in a variety of business development, management and leadership positions for high-tech companies both in the UK, Europe and in the US, and then for the last 12 to 13 years focusing exactly as Jeremy says on coaching, training, authoring and speaking.
And for the last few years since we got together, we've been fascinated with this whole idea of influencing. And in fact, we've now trademarked a model called the C-Cube model of influencing. We trademarked that last year. And so what we wanted to do today was to give you an overview of the model, give you a sense of the background to it, and the sorts of things that you can control and think about in relation to when you're training people in business.
Yeah, and I guess where the model came from was from the research we did initially to support the first book, Brilliant Selling, but then when we broadened that out and we looked at a variety of the world's best trainers, I guess, as part of the research for this book, and we found that those self-same concepts that applied in business development and in influence in that context absolutely apply when you're delivering great training.
Yeah, so you want to know what the basic model is. The model's very, very simple. So we're going to show you an animation of the model right now. And the model, so there's 3 elements, as you can see: confidence, credibility and connection. Here's what we're saying. In business training, when you're trying to influence people, these 3 things have to be in place. You have to be personally confident, because if you're not confident, that's going to be picked up on by your participants, and they may well decide that they don't want to listen to you if you're coming across as someone who's not particularly confident. You also need to be highly credible. That's of course typically down to your knowledge. You need to be a subject matter expert, but it's also down to your experience or your reputation, how you position yourself, and the sorts of things you do, on the day or on the program. And then the third element is connection. So you need to be able to build a harmonious connection or rapport with people. If you can't do that, you'll find it difficult to influence them on a training program. In other words, you need to make sure that they like you.
And I guess the real key point here is we called it C-Cube for a reason, didn't we? It was that when we found people who trained that had any combination of 1 or 2 of those elements, they could be good. But it was actually only if they had all 3, and more importantly, knew how to balance those aspects of credibility and connection. That was when they really made a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've already bought our book, The Financial Times Guide to Business Training, then that's great. If you're still wanting or thinking about buying it, then it's available on in all good bookshops and Amazon, the book depository specifically. It's on part 4, chapter 14. That's when we look at it in more detail. Chapter 14, part 4. So I'm going to find that here now. And we've called it the foundations of influencing in this particular one. So hopefully you've got a bit of a sense now of what the C-Cube model is all about. Confidence, credibility, connection. You get them all. If you're able to use all elements, you will be a great trainer and you'll be very influential.
So yes, so you're right, that completes an overview of the C-Cubed model, and for more information on that model and also any other aspect of how to design and deliver great business training, do read the book, The Financial Times Guide to Business Training through Pearson's. And finally, we'd be really keen to get any feedback that you have on either that model or any other content that you see in the book. We're happy to answer questions because we teach this model and a whole lot of other stuff on our Train the Trainer programs. Thanks very much for watching.